What is going on, YouTube people? New York Cards and Comics here. The good old days of backlogs and price increases. We're back, baby. We are back. Yesterday, early morning, if you've been following along, I am not surprised about this announcement at all. PSA has announced they are still backlogged. They can still not keep up. And in fact, it seems like things might actually be getting a little bit worse. They have increased turnaround times on bulk and value, upping it to 65 business days for any of the cheaper options. They are also increasing the price of bulk TCG by $2 per card. We've seen this before over the years. No one should be surprised by this. This is a tactic that all the grading companies have used. We've seen it for years now, dating back to the pandemic. One of the easiest lever pulls there is to raise prices. That is, when you see the grading companies raising prices like this, that is a signal to you, to the market, to the collectors, that they probably really don't want you to send cards in right now, or they want you to be extremely picky or just not send as many because they are having problems keeping up. They were doing pretty well for a lot of 2024. There was a time in 2024 where I sent out a bulk sub and I got it back in like just over a month. They were cooking. And then as we got into late 2024, Christmas rolled around, and then that's where things went sideways. Two things happened. One, they controlled. One, they had no idea was coming. Because like I said, most of 2024, I had no issues with turnaround times. They ran a very aggressive December special. That was very popular. In conjunction with that, actually three things happened, but two of them go hand in hand. In conjunction with that, Pokemon went crazy. December, Surging Sparks came out, and it set us on this path that we have been on for the last 4 to 5 months, where Pokemon is just absolutely crazy town right now, and TCG in general is crazy town, but Pokemon specifically. The side or conjunction with that was the GameStop collaboration. I firmly believe to this day that they drastically underestimated the GameStop collaboration and exactly how many cards they were going to get in from that. When I interviewed Nat in December, he seemed surprised by the amount of traffic they were generating from that. And I know that PSA was overall very pleased with how well that had been going to that point. And then Pokemon went crazy, like we discussed, and in combination with that, a lot of Pokemon is being submitted through that GameStop collaboration. So the GameStop collab was already doing well, then Pokemon went to the moon and sent the GameStop collaboration to the moon. We've done the numbers, they're getting a decent chunk of cards from GameStop. So everything was going good. They ran a good special in December. GameStop went crazy, or outperformed expectations. Pokemon went to the moon, and then you throw all that in a pot, you mix it together, and here we sit today, where bulk turnaround times are now 65 business days, and they even say straight up, 4 months to get your cards back for bulk. Because in addition to taking 65 business days once it's checked in, it's taking 3 to 4 weeks to get the order checked in for any of the cheaper services. What do I mean by that? Let's pull up their pricing page right here. Basically, anything in this first group here, TCG bulk, and value, are all taking 3 to 4 weeks to get checked in. This one right here, by the time you're watching this video, will be $18.99, not $16.99. It says it's increasing on Tuesday. I don't know exactly what time, but most likely this is already at $18 when you are watching this. These three here are impacted by the 3 to 4 week turnaround time. These three here and higher, basically from value plus up, is not impacted by that. I know personally, I could speak to the value max. I sent one about 2 weeks ago. It got checked in within a day. I did ask. I confirmed that value plus is also moving relatively on time. It's getting checked in a couple of days. So it's these ones here that are slowing things down. The upper tiers are cruising right along at normal turnaround times. I will say my value max order is on, when you're watching this on the 8th, is at 15 days. The grades are supposed to pop on, or the estimated completion date is April 8th. It is all the way through assembly, and the green box is check marked, but my grades have not popped yet. So if they don't pop in the next 24 hours, that order will technically be running late based off of their timelines. But that box could probably pop at any given time, given that it is all the way through assembly. It's just in that weird in-between stage. I don't know why they make the checkbox go green when the grades clearly aren't ready, because they have not showed them to me yet. That box check marked on like Thursday evening or Friday. I know that because I check my grading orders every 5 minutes. I will also say, in that same order, I sent a TCG bulk. I packaged them together and cheated my way into getting that order checked in immediately. But it's been in research ID for almost a month. That order got checked in early mid-March, and it is still in research and ID. It has not moved. I don't even have images of the carts yet. And I expect that one. The estimated completion date on that is late May. And I assume that's still on the old 45-day timeline. So that's kind of what you're looking at right now with PSA in regards to grading. If you need something back in a timely manner, you better be sending it at value plus. If you're sending it anything else, expect it to be gone for about 4 months. They put some fluff in here about trying to scale up and this, that, and the other thing. That's all well and good. New tech, all the nonsense that they would put in something like this. But ultimately, they are just getting avalanched with cards right now. And I have to imagine they are trying to stay ahead of this as much as possible before it gets too out of control, even though it might already be at that point. I mean, they're not completely... This is not pandemic levels of craziness. We're not at that point yet. I will side note one thing. I mean, good on PSA for putting this out there and at least giving an update on what's going on and where everything is at. So if you submit after today, you know what you're getting in for. If you send that little box off to Southern California, you know what you're signing up to get. They have laid it out very clearly on how long it's going to take to get your cards back. So I will give them credit there for being transparent on where they are at with things currently. A side effect of this, which some people in the comment section have mentioned over the last couple of months now, really, and I've seen a lot of comments as well that people are heading a different direction, and that's let's talk about the elephant in the room here. Collectors Club membership. I don't know the real benefits right now of the Collectors Club membership. I mean, there are some, but for most people, I don't know that those benefits are there. And I've seen a lot of comments over the last couple of months about people saying, I am not renewing Collectors Club. And I've seen a lot of comments about, I don't need Collectors Club anymore because I will just submit through GameStop. And just using GameStop as their bulk submitter. I have to imagine Collector Club membership is getting hammered on this. Because the two big things that you got for Collectors Club were access to the bulk, which is now taking 4 months. And for a lot of people, they're not going to be okay with that. You also got access to specials. And there hasn't been a special in basically 4 months now outside of extremely high-end stuff. So if you're sending things in at Express and Super Express, they've ran some specials for you. But everything else, if you're just looking for specials on cheaper grading, you're not getting them at the moment because they can't afford to have even more cards come in. They have to keep prices elevated to keep us from sending cards in for grading. So the Collectors Club squeeze is real. Now, I will say a side benefit is the TCG magazine. I opted for the TCG magazine. They do promos every once in a while, and those promos sell quite well. Last year, I paid for my entire membership for 3 years with the One Piece promo that they sent. I got it for free. I sent it in, paid $20 to grade it. They graded a PSA 10, and I sold it for like $400. So that alone bought me about 2.5 years to 3 years worth of Collectors Club membership by itself. So that is something to keep in mind. If you win the lottery and you hit one of the serialized magazines, they sell for big money, but that's pretty hard to do. But about once or twice a year, they do promos with One Piece to this point. I saw they're actually having one with Gary V pretty quickly. And those sell for a decent chunk of money. So you can offset some of the costs that way. A little life hack there on that one. But curious, where are you at if you are a Collectors Club member? Are you renewing, or are you just going to let it lapse until things get cleared out? Because remember, you can just let it lapse and then sign back up for it. I mean, people, you get like Card Ladder and some other nonsense out of it, but let's be real here. Most people are subscribing to a PSA membership for the specials and the bulk pricing. Crazy times out there. Grading companies are getting overwhelmed. I don't see it slowing down either. Pokemon has some banger sets on the horizon, and they're going to continue to get a ton of volume from that. So that's not slowing down anytime soon. I don't know how much influx this eBay thing is going to add with the directed grading. I'm sure it's going to add a little bit. I don't think it'll be a ton, but that's a new wrinkle to throw into this whole mess as well. And we'll see how things shake out. But that's where we currently sit with PSA. As always, curious for your thoughts and comments down below. Catch you boys and girls on the next one. Peace.